agenda where it's at, dude.
Welcome to the episode of Into the West Comics. My name is Frank. The hot dog corn dog Paul is here.
Hi, I'm here. Hello. How is everybody? How are everybody? How are you? I'm here.
How are everybody?
How you be?
How it be? How you do?
What it be?
What it be like?
Please welcome our special guests, plural. They're both in town, but one is here with us live in person. In town. In the town of Las Vegas. Please welcome from ShimpSons Comics, Barney.
That was not as much fanfare as I
expected. And Mr. Nick Daniels.
What's up, guys?
Hi.
That was great.
Hey.
Thank you for that. What an electric start.
Guys, it's Deadpool night. Sorry, Deadpool Wolverine night.
Wolverine night.
What? Okay. What do you got there?
Oh, there you go. Look at that. You got Deadpool and Wolverine.
We're gonna get to some San Diego Comic-Con news. We're gonna talk about some the rumors and stuff that we could be hearing about this weekend. We're gonna get into a little bit of House of the Dragon and
Hot Dragon action.
How to apparently claim your dragon, and and
how to train your dragon,
how to train your dragon and claim it, or how to have your dragon claim his boy,
right?
And then
on your taxes,
yeah,
as a write-off, dragon tax write-off. But before we do that, here locally this weekend, it happens twice a year. Barney wears pants. He sneezes on YouTube, and he also wears pants. But the other thing that happens twice a year is the Great Comic Crawl. There's a summer edition of the Great Comic Crawl. It's going to be taking place beginning tomorrow in multiple states, right, Barney?
This is true. We're expanded to California now.
That's right. And we're going to have a pop-up event. ShimpSons is going to have their own pop-up event at the Enterprise Library over there on Las Vegas Boulevard, Saturday in the AM.
At 11 a.m. to roughly 4 in the afternoon.
All right.
We'll be doing a little pop-up, and 10 o'clock is when we're all going to get there to do setup, but our doors open at 11. Free admission. Come on down. We have some Alexandria's Treasures will be there. Grant from the Toy Smiths will be there for the pop-up. Flip it around. That's the pop. Yeah. Alexandria's Treasures Into the West will be there. And then a new vendor, someone that I met, that he draws. I think I showed you a picture, mirror art. So he takes a mirror and whatever image you want, he does it backwards on the back, etches it out. And then as you look at it, it's, whatever the image is. So it's absolutely unbelievable what he does, how he does it and how it comes out. You have to see it. I can't even describe how phenomenal it looks.
Yeah, phenomenal. That sounds really cool.
I've only seen a picture. I can't wait to see it Saturday.
Yeah. Nick's gonna be over there. Butter
will be there, absolutely.
His stunt double Margarine might be there too.
And his stunt double Margarine.
That was a good joke.
Parquet.
Oh, nice.
I can't believe it's not Butter.
let's measure our excitement
Whoa.
levels for. You do that. Our excitement levels for Deadpool, Nick. How excited are you for this Deadpool Wolverine film?
I'm excited, but not as excited as my 14-year-old son. He woke up at like 6 o'clock this morning. It's like, it's time. It's time. It's time. So
It's like Christmas.
It's almost time.
I know.
Yeah.
It's almost time. Yes.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you got an hour.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Or so.
Barney, what about you, buddy?
I'm super jazzed, man. I saw something about, I think it was, you probably saw it too, something about, I think it was Kevin Feige said that Avengers Infinity War, the level of what it does to the universe is a 9. Endgame was a 10 for the impact that it has in the MCU, and that Deadpool Wolverine is an 8.
Mm-hmm. So it'll have unlike most of the other movies, it sounds like it'll have some kind of impact on the greater story through line for all of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And based on early reviews, it looks like it's going to be pretty good too, which has not been the case for the vast majority of recent Marvel stuff.
4 or 5 years of anything Marvel's put out.
Yeah.
It's lacking consistency.
That is, to say the least.
Yeah.
That's not true. There's been fun stuff. Like Shang-Chi.
It was a
Shang-Chi was
fresh
fun.
I saw earlier today, and then a 98% popcornometer. So
yeah, the fans are loving it. The critics are also liking it. Yeah.
I'm staying away because I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know a single
I was telling
thing.
these guys in our chat, I've been off of social stuff really basically since
I've
Monday night.
I've lucked out and haven't seen anything. So
that's cool.
I don't know if the leaks have been or the spoils have been at a minimum, or I've just been lucky. But
Brendan is in the chat. Hi, Brendan. He wants to know if Barney will be doing art commissions this weekend. That's the first question. And the other thing, he's just a comment. He watched Deadpool and Wolverine earlier, said that he gives it a 9 out of 10. The impact on the MCU, I won't even touch, so people can experience the film for themselves. He's not really going to even get into that.
Okay.
So we appreciate that, Brendan.
Thank you.
Keep it very vague. I'm going to go let in our other special guest just a moment. Stand by.
Okay. Do we want to? Quan said he's going to get it.
Oh, sorry.
Do we want to speculate a little bit what maybe that impact will be?
I think it's kind of obvious that they've already announced that the mutant saga is here.
That's what I was going to say.
And so this is just going to kick off. I'm going to make an assumption that we're just going to see just a plethora of mutants that are involved with this. And so it's just going to take us forward, and it's going to get us out of the proverbial ditch that we've been in for so long with having to deal with the MCU, whatever phase this is called over the last 4 or 5 years. So.
Well, the movie is just over 2 hours long.
So
they've
2 hours and 7.
They got a lot of stuff to get to. I mean, as far as, they're going to have, I'm assuming there's just a ton of cameos.
Yeah.
There's going to be a ton of cameos.
I hope it's a little more than that. I hope like some characters
You hope
come
it's more
in
than a ton?
No. I hope it's more than just cameos. I hope like some of the characters who appear like stay in the movie for more than 30 seconds and like maybe actually do something.
Or that there's a character that has been sort of leaked, maybe, Nick, that they haven't really that they haven't mentioned, I'm saying, yet, and then maybe that mystery character plays a role in the movie.
I'd like
longer than a couple scenes.
Yes, that would be great.
That would be cool. Hopefully, Lady Deadpool sticks around too. I mean, not just for that one scene that we saw in that last trailer that came out.
So, do we think that's Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, or Taylor Swift? My money's on Blake Lively. He said it's not him. That doesn't mean that's the truth.
Okay,
though.
so if those are my 3 options, we're just going to go with those 3 options, right? If I'm picking
it could be
one
you.
of the 3, it could be me.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, maybe. If I'm picking between those 3 people, I'm going to say it is Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Really, I was going to say Blake Lively because
I'm going to go with Blake Lively.
Only because the body shape does not look like what Taylor Swift is. She's very.
I don't think it's going to be Taylor Swift because I think it's a stunt double in the suit that we see. So I think trying to like glean what it is with the mask on might not be the best idea.
That's fair.
But I think Taylor Swift's going to be in the movie as like Dazzler or something.
I'm actually hoping that happens.
Yeah. So I think that would be a fun way to include her and get a lot more people who usually wouldn't watch this movie to the movie. So I think that would be cool. But I think it's Lively in the suit, but I'm not.
I think so too.
I'm not counting out it possibly just being him in this suit
Any
with a
Travis
wig on.
Kelsey sightings, maybe?
Maybe it's Travis Kelsey. Maybe Lady
Maybe,
Deadpool is
there
Travis
you go.
Kelsey.
Ugh.
A little bait and switch. Yeah.
Do we get a Travis
go.
Kelsey joke if Taylor Swift's in the movie? Do we get a
No.
Travis Kelsey Taylor Swift joke even if she's not in the movie?
I can see her having like a Travis Kelsey rookie card in her back pocket or something that she carries around and just has like a heart drawn on it. I can see
Aw.
something like that.
Yeah.
That's
Alright.
cute.
Because Deadpool, he always throws in those really, small innuendos. That even just the little things you got to just look at. He just has those little nuances in throughout the movies. That
Well, you're seeing Deadpool being part of an MCU film. I mean, and he's being given pretty free reign. You're going to have a lot of jokes and a lot of stuff that, I mean, we got that from the trailer last year for the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
You know, there were some little references. You're like, what?
yeah,
Like, dude.
this is definitely like you're gonna have to watch it 2 times. Maybe
Yeah,
even
I
three,
agree.
just because you're gonna miss stuff.
So are we saying that there's going to be a Deadpool 4? Or is this going to be it? I don't know.
Or are they just going to be used in MCU?
Or will
stuff?
he just be part of the X-Men Avengers stuff?
Yeah.
Or Secret
I
Wars?
don't
or
know.
Another. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Thor got
Is
the
this-
4th movie.
Is this Hugh Jackman's last go? as
No,
Wolverine?
they've
I
been
don't think
very
so.
clear about the fact that they're not recasting for a minute. It sounds like he's in for.
Oh, he's been revitalized.
Yeah,
with
apparently.
the whole of it. Yeah.
I think the suit looks awesome. I know we've talked about that a lot, but that's like maybe the main thing I'm excited about seeing in action because like this is.
No, the suit
That's
looks
Wolverine.
great.
Yeah,
You're sure it
it's
looks
literally
great. The suit looks great.
it's
it looks
super
great
cool.
on you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I haven't worn this shirt since like I was a junior in high school, and it's a little tight.
I was going to say 7th grade.
No, not that long. It would not have fit me anymore.
4 years ago.
In the last couple of minutes, we've had another guest join us here at the table. A friend of the show. He's been on here before, portraying the role of Kylo Timmy.
Oh, that's right.
And
Kylo Tim, yeah.
he's a fan of Star Wars and all things nerd when it comes to us, and we appreciate him being here. Timmy is here. He's joining us here at the table. Where are you at right now? You're in Arkansas.
I am in.
He's actually in Las Vegas. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm in
Well-
Las Vegas right now, currently.
I'm in Arkansas.
But I travel full time on the road. I'm actually in Albuquerque, hanging out
Meth,
with Heisenberg and Pinkman,
Meth,
cooking up some chicken, serving it. So I actually brought us from the official store there,
Oh wow.
the Breaking Bad store, some Blue Rock candy,
No.
Blue
Hey.
Sky.
Oh, we're gonna snort.
We're
that.
gonna have a good time tonight with that.
I'm gonna mix that
there.
with popcorn.
Yeah.
But yeah, Frank, thanks for having me. Just caught the tail end of that conversation. I think it's lively
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to Lady Deadpool. I don't think it's going to be crazy extensive. And then I don't think Hugh Jackman is going to continue these bigger roles.
Mhm.
I think it'll be here and there, placing him, maybe Secret
Sure.
Wars. Same thing with Deadpool, kind of
Like
jumping in and
Yeah,
out.
an ensemble
similar
type
how he did
role.
like
Mhm.
X-Men First Class when they were trying to recruit and he's sitting at
Oh,
the
yeah.
hour and he's like,
He's like,
"Get the
nah.
fuck out of
Yeah.
here."
Mhm.
I think I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
he'll get paid $5 million just for a one
Making
day
the
shoot.
appearance.
Yeah, making an
They were
appearance.
saying something about, and we're going to get into San Diego Comic-Con stuff here in a little bit, but they were saying that Robert Downey Jr. is open to a return, and Tony Stark might come back as, I can't remember what they said it was, but it was very interesting. But they're saying that
Robert Downey
Downey
Jr.
could
come back as Dr.
could come.
Doom.
Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yep, an
wow.
an Iron
Oh,
Man
I
version
like
of
that.
Dr. Doom. Yeah. Thank you
I
for
heard
getting me
that.
there.
Robert Downey Jr. might be the new Jarvis.
The new Jarvis.
That'd be cool.
Just
Yeah.
his voice.
His voice, yeah.
Stand by.
Standing by. Okay.
Anyway,
So
I'm sitting down actually.
well, Frank's getting up. So what were we just talking about? I totally just lost my train of thought.
Robert
Robert Downey
Downey
Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. Do you think, since we're waiting for him to get back, do you guys think what kind of cameos do you think we'll get in Deadpool and Wolverine? Like, what are some characters outside of like possibly Taylor Swift or something like that? Do you guys think we'll see in Deadpool and Wolverine?
Well, I know that it's been kind of confirmed that Jennifer Gardner is going to be in there.
Electra.
As Elektra.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Electra,
Okay.
Mhm.
yeah. So I'm hoping Ben Affleck as Daredevil would be kind of cool. Like Deadpool cutting his head off or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Didn't they get divorced recently?
I think so.
No, that was Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer
Oh,
Lopez.
so that was
yeah,
the
that's
second
the
Jennifer
other one.
divorce.
Yeah.
The
All
other-
right.
The other Jennifer.
What about you, Tim? Or
I
Barney?
think I just go back to the trailer. I think that portal scene, I think they're going to end up showing an Endgame. Like,
Okay.
I think that's where it's going to lead.
They're going to be
how
part
they
of that fight.
officially come to the MCU is going through that portal.
So do you think they refilm that entire scene, or they're just going to place it in?
I think they're just going to place it
archive
in
footage?
with them just like cutting heads off of people and
Do you
running
think it'll
around
be
and-
implied that they were there initially the whole time? Like they jumped into the time stream at that moment? Or is this a different version of that fight?
Or they make it look goofy, and they make it intentionally look goofy that they're running alongside the group or something.
Oh, sure. Like he catches the glove for a second and then hands it
Right.
off to Spider-Man.
I would like to see what they did in Hawkeye, where from Kate Bishop's point of view of Hawkeye taking
Oh,
down
yeah.
the Chitauri from,
Ah.
all of that,
Yeah.
and then
And
having
she's
it from
watching Hawkeye on the corner of
Correct.
the building or whatever.
Yeah, that would
yeah,
be cool.
I would like to see if they were having it from like either Wolverine or Ryan Reynolds, like kind of in the background, like what's going on? Like, why do all these people have costumes? And all right, they're fighting. So we should fight too. I think that'd be really cool.
I kind of see it more as a moment where the portal opens, they come in, there's all this fighting, and then Deadpool's like, "Holy fuckballs! Yep, we're on spot. Let's get out of here."
No, yeah.
Q,
Nope.
you see something like quick like that. So
That'd be cool.
I'm hoping that Channing Tatum does come on as Gambit.
That would be
I
fun.
completely
I
forgot
think that
about
would just
that.
be a fun little thing to have.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see Longshot and Mojo.
Mojo Jojo? No, just kidding. Sorry.
No, not Mojo Jojo. Just Mojo.
All right.
Longshot Mojo.
I don't know
like to
if
see that.
I don't know if I can think of anybody who I think like how many X-Men cameos do we think we get?
Yeah.
Is there like do we get a James McAvoy, Patrick Stewart thing again?
Yeah.
Do we
Halle
get
Berry.
do
If
they
we do.
drag Ian McKellen out of his bed or grave or whatever to
It could
to
be
be
just
Mag-
Fassbender
to
instead. Yeah.
His grave.
Magneto again?
I mean, I think there's going to be at some point where someone does a count, and I think it could be upwards of 40 plus.
Okay.
Kelsey Grammer is Beast.
I mean, he was already in
Kelsey Grammer as Frazier.
I could see scenarios where they bring X-Men 97 into it, just as a
Oh yeah.
quick little,
Sure.
oh, not this universe, kind of bouncing
Yeah, like
around.
they walk
kinda
into the
maybe one.
animated universe and they're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
this isn't the
I
one.
can see
Let's-
that happening because it's Deadpool. It's like, no holds barred with it. He just lets his imagination go and just comes up with. I get to see him, Ryan Reynolds sitting on the pot and just, going through his phone. Like, oh, there's an idea. And put it in my.
See, and that's what
This is his
kind of
notes.
has me like the only thing I'm a little apprehensive about the movie is I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm afraid it might be a little bit of a mess. So that's like my only the only thing when I think about how excited I am to see the movie. Like, all right, I got to prepare myself for the fact that this might be a mess and it might just be a crazy it might be a lot of fun. But if you think about like Spider-Man No Way Home, kind of,
Mhm.
or if you think about it a
Yeah.
little too much, it's like it just doesn't make any sense. And these characters are doing what and coming from where and how and why are they here?
Mm.
I hope it's a little tighter than that. But if it's not, as long as it's fun, that's all I care
Well, I
about.
mean,
Will
they're
there-
saying
do you
it's
think
an
there'll be
8.
a Spider-Man cameo? Any of the three?
Any of the three?
I think they confirmed, I don't know what impact this has on Deadpool, but I'm pretty sure it was confirmed that Andrew Garfield will be in the third Venom movie in some capacity.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what impact that has on this, but they're out there. They're getting in you. So,
Yeah, I saw something about Tobey Maguire being in the fourth Spider-Man
Getting in
movie
ya.
and a major role in it too.
oh
So,
yeah.
It was gonna slip by.
Do we want to
No, it
ask
Um,
the other guy?
the what? Oh, Marcus. Hi, Marcus.
Hi.
Hey, Mar-
Brother Marcus
Marcus,
is
when'd you get
here
Hi.
just now. He's been
Just
here the
now.
whole time. He's just watching.
Yeah.
I want to know who Marcus thinks is going to be in it that we haven't thought of yet, or
Oh,
hopes
man.
to be in it.
Oh,
Olivia Munn is Psylocke. I like to see that one again.
Oh,
in all honesty,
Punisher?
yeah, Punisher. Yeah, that'd be great. In all honesty,
Thomas
I have no hope for anybody to come in.
should have write that down. Marcus has
So-
no hope.
No, so for me, it's better that way. That way, when someone does show up, it'll be more of a surprise.
That's fair.
I think, like for example, what was his name, John Krasinski, when he was in Multiverse of Madness as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
That was great. And I didn't even expect that. So that I think going in with just no expectations whatsoever is going to help. So that's where I'm at with that. As far as cameos are concerned, because cameos are great, but we don't know what the follow through is going to be going forward. We really don't. I know they
Since
did.
Rocky Fort.
I know they did. mentioned that it's basically going to be a mutant saga era coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're going to see a lot of mutants. Which mutants? Don't know yet, but hopefully we have some classic ones as well as some of the more lesser known ones, to keep it fresh and more.
Nightcrawler, maybe?
Yeah, maybe some that are a little less familiar, so that way the cinematic universe can have a little more creative liberty with them versus the mainstay characters where we all know, so we kind of have them kind of, in a box as to what we expect from them,
Right.
like Cyclops has to be like this and Wolverine has to be like this and Storm has to appear like this, where if it's someone from like the New Mutants or some of the lesser known characters, then they can maybe take some more, creative liberties. So
we're gonna get some announcements this weekend as far as what Marvel, because they do their map and they say like over the next 3 years, this is gonna, they might re-announce Blade. But
They said that would be rated R.
And then cancel it.
Rated R. Yeah.
What is going on with that? That's turning into like a Justice League sort of situation where it's just like
2019 Blade was announced.
Yeah, it's turning into a Flash or a Flash sort of situation.
2021.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
it's pending.
Well, that movie
It's at
happened
least 2 more
eventually,
years.
so
Eventually it will. But we know we're going to get Marvel's going to do their Hall H thing Saturday night, and they're actually going to have 2 days worth of panels because there's going to be a celebration of life. They're going to be screening Deadpool
funeral?
Wolverine for everybody attending in Hall H. One of the 2 days, I think they're doing. You have to sign up digitally, and you can attend a screening, and you watch the movie with Sean Levy and Hugh Jackman and
you really
Ryan
confused me
Reynolds.
on the celebration of life thing.
Yeah,
That's what they're calling
I was like,
it.
what are we
They're calling
talking
it
about?
Deadpool Wolverine
That's what
Celebration
we-
of Life.
Oh.
It's usually what
And
we call
I
funerals.
think it's either Friday or Saturday they're doing that, but they're also going to have the Hall
I wonder-
H deal.
I wonder if they're going to announce for sure who the director of the next two. I say for sure, but obviously anything can change. Those movies aren't going to come out for like 3 years, 4 years. But they were initially saying it was looking like it was going to be Sean Levy who was going to direct the next 2 Avengers movies, because apparently they didn't want the Russos back. But since then, Sean Levy has said, I'm not doing it. And they have gone back to saying the Russos are going to do it, which I'm cool with either one. I like both of those. And I think the Russos do really good work within the Marvel universe. Their stuff outside of the Marvel universe hasn't been very good. But I'd be happy to see them back, or like Sean Levy. But I wonder if we'll get an announcement on
Who's directing?
who's directing those
You know
movies.
what? I did see a post about the Russos saying that they're actually eyeing another Avengers film or something. So something might be down the pipeline for them, actually. Yeah.
I hope they have the 2 guys that wrote the previous Marvel movies they've been working on back on those. Russo's being back on is great.
Yeah.
But those guys that they had, the 2 writers, I don't remember their names,
Nor do I.
but they had the same people writing like every other Marvel project they've worked on.
Mhm.
So if they get those 2 guys back writing the script, that
Do
could
you
be cool.
have a list of the panels that Marvel's going to do? Do you know?
As far as for like film and TV stuff related,
Yeah.
In Hall H.
Hall H is just going to be plus announcements, but it might be limited because, again, remember 2 weeks from this weekend is D23. So they might be holding back some things until they get to that weekend to start announcing, because it's usually like the Friday or Saturday morning and Saturday night that they announce Star Wars and Marvel stuff with D23 too. So they might not be giving us a lot. The last time it synced up that it was like 2 weeks apart was Wakanda Forever. And then like 2 weeks later,
I
they still
remember
put
that.
out footage of stuff,
Yeah.
but they leaned more into Star Wars, I think, that year, that weekend, as opposed to the other convention. So, I mean, it really just depends on what their overall plan is. The only thing Star Wars has working that they've got shot and
Andor
they can
season 2.
show is Andor Season 2 started filming, but they've finished Skeleton Crew.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's right.
they can probably show a sizzle reel or some type of trailer, I guess. I don't know.
So, what do I mean for the big kind of things that we talk about on this show? What can we expect out of San Diego Comic-Con if Marvel's got D23 coming up? DC isn't going to be there in any kind of formal capacity. They said there will be something that comes out of it for DC, but they're not going to, like, it's not going to be any trailers.
They just finished filming Superman.
Yeah. No, they're still filming. It's just, I think
And
Nicholas
Peacemaker too.
Nicholas Hoult is done filming, and a couple other guys have shot all their stuff.
Yeah.
But, and then Star Wars, if D23 is coming up and they only have one thing in the can, what kind of announcements are we going to get out of that? So I don't know. It seems like San
Might
Diego
be more
Comic Con is
comic
not
book
what it used to be.
related.
Yeah, more comic
You
book.
know.
But DC already did all their big comic book announcements, which we'll talk about in a little bit more in a little bit. But
Yeah.
what is DC going to do?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Have they come up with anything? Remember when Ryan Johnson directed Episode 8, and they said that they were going to give him his own project with Star Wars?
That's still in the works.
That's still.
Yeah.
There could be something from that. I mean, I saw something about Acolyte Season 2 was greenlit.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I think even 2 and 3 were greenlit. It did like super well views wise.
I still don't.
I thought it was all right.
In the end, it turned out to be better than where it was coming or where it was going. You know, the final episode. You know, seeing who we saw at the end of the season finale, I wasn't too hyped up over it.
Sure.
I was more upset of how the cameo that they had in there and how the little shadow reveal, behind the wall. I'm like,
yeah.
what the heck? This is a major player. That's how he gets introduced.
But as far as Marvel goes, they've rumored to have replaced Kang. They've recast Kang, but that may or may not be announced this weekend. We're still waiting to see whether or not they've cast Dr. Doom. We don't know.
There was the first cast picture of the 4 Fantastic Four guys recently.
They started shooting the movie today.
Yeah. So they're all. So if Dr. Doom's got to be cast, right? If they're filming the movie.
We think so.
I think at San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel's going to really focus on their big movie projects. So even though I'm not as hyped as a lot of other people are for Thunderbolts, I think that's something that we could
Sure.
see. And then obviously like Fantastic Four, I could see them focusing on that and then saving all the other projects for D23 2 weeks. But when it comes to Star Wars, like I have no idea. We're still waiting to hear for, the Ahsoka Mando team up movie. I have no idea.
As far as a timeline.
I can
and
see
what's
Marvel
gonna
doing a timeline showing up to a certain point and then unannounced, and in 2 weeks, then they reveal the whole timeline, waiting for it. But just give us
Very
something
possible.
at SDCC. Give us something.
Do you think we
to get
get
the
the
crowd
actual titles, or do you think we get just like the movie dates of when they're
Oh,
going to
sure.
release?
I think they're definitely going to do something because you don't
Okay.
go to SDCC, have Hall H, and underperform. They're going to bring something out. It's not going to be like years past where they would actually.
I think we'd
bring
be getting footage
actors out and
for
stuff.
Thunderbolts, yeah.
Yeah, but how
Thunderbolts
hype is people?
asterisk.
How hype
Thunderbolts asterisk, yeah.
How hype is are people for Thunderbolts? I mean, especially with
I don't know.
if this movie tonight is the one that's kicking off the whole mutant saga of the next MCU phase, the mutant phase, I guess we'll call it. Them being president at San Diego, they're going to show us something, but I don't think it's going to be everything. I think it could be just a timeline of the next 5 films just to get people hyped. Maybe even throw one in there that people don't know about to get even more hyped. And then D23 comes out next in 2 weeks, and now we got the full timeline.
Nick, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think? What could we be getting as far as announcements or whatever?
I don't know. I mean, who knows what Disney has planned? They're just all over the place. It seems like right now.
Flying by the seat of their pants.
Exactly.
I think this movie's gonna make a lot of money.
It's like
projecting
between
gosh.
2
80
and
to
300
200
million.
For the
opening
weekend, they said
weekend,
it's
yeah.
180 to 200 million is a projection.
Yeah, this actually puts people. I can see movie theaters actually being full again just for this movie.
Yes.
And then
But did you-
Yeah, it
Did
would,
any of you hear about the claw machine that they're going to have at select theaters?
no.
yeah,
No, you're telling me about that. We saw it
Yeah,
at the
so
card
there's
show.
a claw machine. I guess if you pre-order tickets for, I don't know if it's tonight or all weekend or any future showings, that they have those little bubbles, and you can, for each ticket, you get a token, and you get the claw machine, and one of them, if you get one, it's got half of the best friend's necklace.
Oh,
So,
okay. That's
one-
kind of cool.
I don't know if it's going to be a red one and a yellow one, if it's going to be just
Aw.
random mystery, but I'm just hoping. I'm going to see it at the Orleans tonight, hoping they have it over there.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
the one thing Ryan Reynolds is an absolute master of marketing for a
Yeah.
guy who's an
He's-
actor and a football club owner. And when it comes to marketing and just putting out content and just being creative with it, I mean,
Sure.
when we walked in, Quan had Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on the show together,
Hot Ones.
eating hot ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. this guy just goes everywhere. It just comes up with different ways. He did a Heineken in taking Wolverine's claws and using adamantium just to make new Heineken bottles or Heineken cans. So,
that was
so
clever.
he's just a master to me. For an actor, he just thinks completely outside the box of what can I do to hype this and what can I do to just bring attention to what it is that we're doing. And just I think he's just a master at it. It's
Yeah, it's going to be the first Dune did okay, but it's going to be the first non-animated movie this year to do like actual numbers.
Sure.
Which is kind of crazy this late in the year.
Do we think it's going to be Inside Out too?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so either. It's rated R, which kind of historically caps it out around 1.2 billion, which is a lot of money. But Inside Out 2 is already past that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Inside Out 2 is going to keep going past that because everyone can go see it. It's good. It's fun. It's an hour and a half long. It's going to be tough to beat that movie.
Nick, we don't want to hold you up anymore. We know that you got to get in line for popcorn. So
And get to the claw machine because it's going to be
claw
there.
machine.
It's going to be there.
The claw machine.
Of course. But thanks for taking time, and we'll see you this weekend at the pop-up event, Enterprise Library, ShimpSons pop-up event, and Comic Crawl going on this week, multi-state.
multi stores. I mean, just about every single store. Just about every single store has some kind of sale.
That's what the mirrors are for. Sorry.
They have some kind of sale going on, and just announced Celestial Comics. Sharon actually reached out to me this weekend. They're only going to be open through the end of the month, and they're closing. Celestial's closing, and they're doing 50% off everything in the store. Wow. I mean, they're even selling fixtures. So you go on down to Celestial, it's half off. Sharon's getting out of the game as far as the store goes, but she's looking to probably start doing shows again in some capacity. So we'll see what the future goes from her. With her, I'll be in contact with her about stuff. But yeah, 50% off over there. And then of course you have our pop-up show, and then all the stores that are on the checklist. I mean, every one of them starting tomorrow, they have discounts. They have some of them even have free swag. So you come in with your checklist, get your stamp. You can get a little free swag there, but they'll, make sure you go by because, whoever gets the most stamps on that checklist gets entered to win, gift cards from just about all the participating stores. So if we have, I think we have 18, 19 stores on the list, just about every one of them have given us a gift card. So whoever gets the most stamps, you get entered into the little raffle system and pull out a gift card and go visit the store again.
That's right. But I mean, everybody from all over Las Vegas, and where is Nowhere Comics? It's in
it's a suburb of San Diego area.
Okay.
So Matthias is the owner of that one. So he was jazzed about it. So he's giving 15% off all CGC, all back issues, and then of course there's Hypno Comics with George out there in Power Rump,
over in the hump.
Pahrump has a comic store. Wow,
it's a really nice comic.
Wow,
it's cool. It's a really sweet store to go. I've been out there before and didn't even look at a single comic. George and I just sit on the porch out there that he has, and we sit there and talk about comics and all the things we've been through in the comic book world.
Marcus is usually out there for one thing though.
the winery.
Yeah. I knew we were not going to get through mentioning Pahrump without.
Oh, I thought he was going to say First Sight, because I like to shoot. So,
okay.
Yeah,
that's what he was talking about. What do you mean?
Sight.
Yeah, he's talking about you shooting already.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Nick, thanks for hanging out. And hopefully we'll have you in studio since we're in the same city. So we'll have you come over. We are. Yep, that's right.
We're into the West or something.
Yep. Oh, wow. Have a good night, buddy. Enjoy the movie, and
love you, Nick.
Make sure Chimichanga time in America for me.
There you go.
Chimichangas. Wow,
that's a new one.
Have a good night. One of the things it's not really going to be announced because it already came out earlier this week, but they'll probably be showing it again. Is the second official trailer for Joker, Folie à Deux. I'm not French.
Are you sure? That was pretty good.
Folie à Deux, yeah.
We're going to check out the first look at this second official trailer for Joker Folie à Deux. And then
that was worse.
Are you sure you're not
Thanks.
French?
No.
2 years ago, the name Arthur Fleck hit Gotham like a hurricane.
The trial of the century.
They believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr. Well, he's not. There's a monster.
When you're smiling, when you're smiling,
When I first saw Joker, when I saw you,
the whole world smiles with you.
for once in my life, I didn't feel so alone anymore.
When you're laughing, oh, when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. For once in my life,
I forgot it's a
I
musical.
have someone who needs me.
How about you, Arthur? Do you still think you're a star?
Showtime. The whole world smiles with you.
You can do anything you want.
The sun comes
You're Joker.
Look around. Look at all these people.
bring on.
I will no longer allow any of you
So stop your sighing.
to keep me down.
Be happy again.
I got the sneaking suspicion that we're not giving the people what they want.
It's okay, baby. Let's give the people what they want. Sing hallelujah. Come on, get happy. Get ready for the judgment day.
Movie looks like a fever dream.
Yeah. Marcus, your thoughts?
I'll pass.
No.
All right.
No, I mean, like, I'll pass. I don't want to see the movie.
Ah,
I have
okay.
zero interest, so
Okay.
Why is that?
I just not interested. I didn't see the first one. Didn't care to see it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then and then on top of it being a musical too, I'm not into that. So
That's
I'll
fair.
pass. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Cool.
That's fair.
Great. Barney?
How could you not want to see it? And
Ju-
you did not see the first one?
No.
No.
Zero interest. I mean, there's no Joker without Batman. They kind of have to be together. I can't see them.
I agree with
I
that.
can't see them, mutually exclusive like that.
All right.
Yeah.
You can have Batman without Joker, but you cannot have Joker
Right.
without Batman.
Right. Yeah. Because he's kind of a foil.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But anyways.
Okay.
My oldest son and I, we were driving home from work yesterday, and he was like, "Did you do All You Do trailer?" And I was like, "Yeah." I go, I'm not sure what I think about it. It's a musical. That just takes me out of it. But watching the trailer, I'm gonna get past the fact that it's a musical,
Mhm.
and just I'm gonna watch it. No matter what. He's really jazzed about watching it, so we'll definitely go together to take a look at it and check it out. But I don't know where my hopes are on it. I don't know what my expectations are on it, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. It looks really sadistic,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
because of that, that's what's really engaging me to wanting to watch it is at that and just to see where it goes from it. I'm not big on like I said, I'm not big on the musical aspect of it, but yeah, as long as it's done tastefully, I guess.
Yeah. I've enjoyed musicals before. I don't generally like them, but I've enjoyed them before.
Yeah, there's just I think it takes me to watching some musicals, and I can't do it. And some and they were they're like award-winning films,
Sure.
with musicals, but some of them I just cannot do it. I cannot sit there and watch someone's in sitting in a chair and all of a sudden they just get up and just start going into a whole singing monologue of stuff, and it's just it takes me away from it. I can't do it.
Timmy?
In all honesty, I forgot this was coming out.
Nice. Okay.
I think I'm more hyped for Penguin.
Yeah.
Especially if that's dropping the same month. We're talking 2 months from now.
100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I loved the first one. I thought the grittiness, the intensity, kind of the psycho analytics of going into, what really captivates Joker and his mind from that angle. But to come out with the second one and then announce, okay, it's going to be a musical, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not in the forefront of my mind.
When they
All
first
these
announced
other-
that,
Mhm.
yeah, that was the thing. I was like, a musical? What do you mean? It's like
I mean, I
the
respect
first
the
one
fact that
was-
they're trying to do something different.
Sure.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
I can I think we complain about people doing paint by the numbers movies all the time. So I think it's good that they're like
Taking a certain risk.
taking a risk and like doing something on the edge and not just, well, we're gonna make another one of these and make the same movie again. So I mean, even though like personally, I think the same thing about the first movie that I think about this trailer. I think it looks well made, it looks well shot, it sounds well written, but nothing about it is super interesting to me. And I think that this is a movie for this is a comic book movie for people who have never read a comic book and don't care about comic books. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But and I am like willing to admit this, my like affinity for the character of Joker makes it hard for me to like, they're like, oh, the Joker's a martyr. Since when?
Yeah.
That's not the point of that character.
Right.
The point of that character is he's some unstoppable like monster.
Chaotic figure.
And
Right.
the interesting thing is having something come up against him and try to stop him.
Sure.
When he's like, and again, I think it looks well written. It looks like it'll be an interesting story. It looks like it'll be technically good. But because I have such an affinity for the character from the book, I'm a little biased. I'm like, I don't know. And that's how I felt about the first one. Like, just wasn't for me. It's Taxi Driver, but you slapped the name Joker on it. So I'm like,
I think they say that's one of the references.
Yeah, it's
for
like,
the
and it,
source material, I'd say, like for the movie.
It's almost, not almost. It's a very similar movie.
Sure.
So I don't know.
So is
Doesn't
that
concern- Oh, go ahead,
Is that the intent? Because I think that's where I'm lost. Is I like what is the intent artistically of why this movie and why should I care?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we just making a movie for a movie's sake, or what? I mean, what's the creative offering?
I just want to say, I mean, we know that the as far as performance based, awards based, it performed very well, and money, it performed very well.
Yeah,
it's
Right.
one of the only two DC films to make $1 billion.
Right.
What's the other one?
Aquaman.
How weird.
And he
I did
did
not
win an
see that
Academy
coming.
Award for
Right.
this movie. So
they're going by the metrics. It looks like.
I guess, but then you're switching up the metrics, Marcus. But you're saying that you're gonna say, well, we're gonna make Lady Gaga play Harley Quinn, and I'm like, okay. And they're like, and it's a musical. Like, what?
Yeah. Like why? Like what is the
But you know what? It's weird, and the movie was the first movie was very weird. I think this movie is like, it's a great way to describe it, Paul. You said a fever dream. It's gonna feel like that. It's gonna be off. But I think a lot of people would be like, this looks cool. I can't wait. Well, I mean, I'm going to watch it. I think it looks...
I will watch it.
It's interesting.
I think one of the things that kind of triggers my biases about it is that it did get a lot of love in award season.
Sure.
And this one probably will too. And it kind of bugs me that the Academy and the Golden Globes are going to reward a superhero movie or a comic book movie that's about because there's lots of comic book movies that don't seem like they're comic books, like I don't know, The Road, or not The Road, the other Viggo Mortensen one, I can't remember off the top of my, Children of Men. And there's lots of comic book movies that get praised like that, but never superhero comic book movies. And as soon as they make a superhero comic book movie that tries everything in its power not to be that, it gets all that attention. It kind of like rubs me the wrong way. It's like, all right, so it's obviously just a bias, because the fact that I'm pretty sure the Joker got nominated for more things than The Dark Knight did. And
yeah,
it's because there's not a guy in a costume in the movie. And that bothers me a little bit.
You might be right.
I think the biggest thing is it's not our Joker.
Right.
And it's
Sure.
not. And you can almost you can almost call this movie some other title and not call it Joker and
Right.
still get away with it.
You could call it Arthur Fleck.
You can call Arthur Fleck and just
Right.
you know, and it would be probably just as enjoyable as anything else. But
Right.
to watch it and think that this is the Joker, you know, for those of us that have read comics, that this is not Joker for us.
Right.
But it's also similar to like, for me anyway, probably for you, but like Transformers, all the Michael Bay stuff. That when I watch that, I'm like, this is not Transformers.
Oh, it's a headache.
That's a great
It's
way to put
just, you know,
I do think-
giant robot.
But
movie.
kids like it.
Yeah.
Kids love it.
I do think this is better than the
Some of them
Transformers, but I think that's a great comparison. And shout out Silent Dreamer in the chat. It's Taxi Driver and King of Comedy.
Right.
It's like they slam those two movies together and slap the name Joker on it. It's
Mm.
and I'm like,
I
don't
mean,
know.
I want to give the guy his flowers a little bit. Joaquin Phoenix is a phenomenal actor.
he's
and
incredible.
he is tremendous in this
Yeah,
movie.
absolutely.
Right.
That's it's not taking anything away from it. It's how we're perceiving the character because we read comics. We've watched Batman cartoons
I'm
growing up.
100%
We've watched
biased,
Batman
yeah.
TV
Yeah.
series and
Played
other
video
films
games, yeah.
and all those things. And we've seen Joker going up against Batman. And in this dynamic, I thought the film was incredible, and he was incredible in it. But I don't know how interested I am. I'm saying as someone who really liked the movie, I don't know how interested I am in this or how successful it's going to be.
But you're still gonna watch it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost feels like kind of like with Venom, the Venom movies, because I mean,
They're equally bad.
and I mean, you can't put. You should have at least put Spider-Man in something,
yeah,
you know, to kind of give it because
same thing. Yep.
Well,
I
the
mean-
Sonyverse, though, Marcus.
yeah, I know, but and I mean, didn't Sony own Spider-Man?
They
still do.
Yeah, they still do. They couldn't put Spider-Man in Venom, like at least you know a cameo or something to kind of enter, you know, because in the comic book world, Venom has had enough time and distance away from Spider-Man that he can stand on his own as a character now in the comic world.
Yeah.
But in the movie world, you kind of need Spider-Man to kind of, you know, be that springboard for him. And in this, it seems like it's the same sort of issue. Like it feels the same with Joker. Like I need Batman to kind of be his springboard to you know, until we see, you know, some sort of manifestation of Joker being his own character and his being able to hold his own movie. Because right now he's just Batman's villain, and we keep, you know, trying to make him into some star with you know, singing and all that. It seems a little too away from, I guess, too divorced from the
Sure.
the
That's a great way to
character.
put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not staying true to the character, if you will. Yeah.
But with those Sony films, right? They have not worked.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
none of them.
The Venom
No.
horse looks cool though.
The what?
The Venom horse.
The Venom
New one?
horse.
Yeah,
The
That looks cool.
giddy up symbiote. It
I
looks
could watch
good.
that scene.
Yeah,
Twice.
that looks cool. Those movies are not good.
No.
Yeah.
no.
And
And I love-
Morbius. Morbius. Yeah.
I never seen Morbius
I still
either.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, I still need to see
Sorry.
that.
I still haven't seen
Madam Web.
it. Madam Web.
Oh,
Morbius
God.
is
Holy
better
Lord.
than Madam
man.
Web, based on one thing. Matt Smith is absolutely losing his mind in
Yeah.
Morbius, and it elevates the movie just a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like off the charts in that movie.
Yeah. And then do we have Craven's still coming too?
Yeah.
But it's
It got pushed to next year.
Oh God.
It was supposed to be released last year.
yeah. But it's
That's a mess.
it's a mess. Yeah.
It is.
I wish that Sony would. Because I remember there was a point where they were going to sell. Marvel was going after them to buy all the rights back for everything, from all the Spider-Man universe, and then Sony just looked at it like, no. We made so much money with you collaborating with us, you know, loaning our character to you, and Marvel's the one that made, you know, Tom Holland and, you know, made Spider-Man what it is,
Right.
you know, but Sony just saw the dollars on that and did not want to let those characters go, and they want to keep on pressing with these movies, but these movies are so lackluster. They're not doing justice for anything, and they're almost killing it.
It's got to be a logistic thing too for them to being able to use. They're using, you know, villains. Obviously, they're not really building towards anything. I don't think they're really building towards anything. We don't know who the Spider-Man is in this series of films.
Yeah.
We're assuming it could be Garfield, but
that would be the most interesting thing to do, I think.
And it's just
It would actually bring hype to it.
Yeah.
The only thing they were building towards was
because he didn't get a third movie.
was the when at the end of Morbius when he meets up with
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
You know, so it was kind of building towards a potential Sinister Six.
Wow.
But I mean, we still could be several ways away from that because they gotta.
That ain't gonna happen.
Many moons.
Don't see it.
Nope.
And I feel so bad for those actors too, because I love Tom Hardy.
Don't feel bad for him.
I
He's
do.
making a bunch of money.
And I love Joaquin Phoenix too. And
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I think
you don't
the
feel
key
bad
difference
for
is that
Joaquin Phoenix.
the first of all, they both make millions of dollars. Second of all,
they're fine.
The Joker movie's good. Like, I may not personally identify with it or enjoy it, but it is like as objectively as you can possibly like critique a movie. It's well made. The Venom movies are not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways,
fair. This is usually when Shane loses his mind.
Yeah.
And
user warning.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Tim do his best impersonation of Shane. I was
Oh
kidding. You don't have to do
man,
that.
I can't live up to that. There's no way.
We're gonna.
I tried and looked like an idiot. So
Good call. He goes, yeah. But Tim, you're gonna lead out this comic drop segment, yeah?
This was a comic featured a couple weeks ago. Shout out Marcus.
Hey.
Mentioned earlier, I travel full time, and so picking up comics, going to local comic book shops is hard for me, and so I try to do a lot of digital stuff. But this was a comic that I had to get. Gave a perfect intro to it. It was Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime.
Oh, yeah.
I saw this. I got the little taste, the intro of what you guys had said on the show. Went out the next day and I picked it up.
Nice. That's good.
Amazing. I think this could be easily a 90-minute animated short.
Yeah.
I would love if they were to get a little bit into more of the backstories of the other Scrooges from the multiverses. I think they would have done a really good job with that, but the way the story was laid out, amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a good one.
It was a fun story, Marcus.
It was. Yeah. I enjoyed it thoroughly and would recommend anyone out there listening, if they haven't picked it up, go pick it up. It's great. Jason Aaron did a phenomenal job with that.
Jason Aaron's dope.
Marcus, why don't you kick us off? We're gonna try to move quickly through all these items, but go ahead, sir.
Okay. Well, since he started off with Jason Aaron, I'll go ahead and continue with Jason Aaron, as he just released his first issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, starting over again after the closing issue of issue number 150 from the previous creative team. Now we have the creative team of Jason Aaron, Joel Jones, and Rhonda Pattison on issue number 1.
I like Joel Jones.
And oh yeah, the art is phenomenal. As Frank says, I went hard in the paint with this one. The variants are just phenomenal. They're just absolutely phenomenal. So I did go hard on those. And it's starting off just like Ryan North's Fantastic Four started off, where the first 4 issues are going to feature one of the turtles. And it starts off with Raph. And it's Return to New York, Part 1. And you find him in lockup, San Quentin, and you read it and you almost forget that you're reading a Turtles comic. And he's in prison doing a hard time. Everyone is kind of keeping their distance from him, really treating him like just another inmate, but he just happens to be a mutant, turtle. And little by little, there's a mystery that you start slowly see what has led to him being incarcerated, and with a huge, it's just a powerful setup for what's been going on. And it looks like he may have been set up, even though he was actually internally helping out the law enforcement within the prison to try to snuff out some of the inner corruption. So very strong story, very, very, very strong setup for the issues ahead. And yeah, he's done a phenomenal job setting it up. So very powerful issue. It looks like it's going to be a series that's going to be running concurrently with another one, Night Watcher #1 by Junie Ba. That was a free comic book day teaser that was released during our last free comic book day, where we have a new vigilante that's being introduced. So that's going to be a concurrent series that was released in August. And then Mutant Nation #1, which also is Tom Walsh, who is part of the previous creative team. That's following up Night Watcher in September. And so you're going to have these two, and they're basically going to kind of flesh out what's been going on and what's been going on since issue 150 of the last run with issue 1 here. So
I like
fantastic.
the Escape from Alcatraz kind of themed cover for that TMNT book.
Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah,
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, very, very cool. And then the second one, this one was actually a blind buy because I almost forgot that it even was going to come out. But Flash Gordon #1 by Jeremy Adams, of course, of DC esteem as well. And it's following Flash Gordon, and it starts off with him basically being in prison, and he's being kind of like sustained by androids that are coming in, and because he's like strapped down basically to like a chair, and being injected with a sustenance by this cyborg who comes in just to keep him alive, and he's imprisoned in this planet of death, that place called the Planet of Death. And then the issue proceeds to him trying to escape and get back, and he turns out what's her name, Dell. She turns out to be alive. He thought she was dead and all this kind of stuff. So it's actually a lot of fun. It's very gritty for to say that for Flash Gordon kind of campy movie it was, but it's very gritty, very 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 solid. And they're actually, Mad Cave is actually releasing a complete library edition that's going to be following this in July, which collects all the old comic strips. And then the second issue of this looks like it's going to be a 5-issue so far. And there's going to be Defenders of Earth and a Flash Gordon quarterly ish. So there's more books that are going to be coming out along with this one. This one's really cool. A lot of action, a lot of violence, actually, blood, and even I was pretty shocked. Very awesome. And then finally, James Tynion IV. He is back with his sequel to Nice House on the Lake with Nice House by the Sea. So turns out that we had Walter, who was the alien from the other series. Now we have Max, and this was a separate house or a separate group of houses with different people, and they're actually following the rules. And so what does that look like versus Walter's group, who was very kind of rebellious and kind of contentious, with each other. So what does that look like? And we will see that as well, and be, slowly be unfolded as this book continues. And the first issue is very strong. It comes, if you haven't if you haven't read the first run, Nice House by the Lake or Nice House on the Lake, that's fine. You can jump in with this one. If you have that's cool. So you'll already be, familiar with the style of writing and how everything is set up with the different people, all gifted in different areas of life. And basically the world has already been destroyed, and now we're seeing how everyone survives afterwards, with skulls washing up in the water and fire and all that kind of stuff. How's it go? So very cool. Those are my 3 picks.
Very cool.
You want Paul to go next?
Yeah, let's do Paul. I see the cover already.
All right. So there was a bunch of announcements over the past couple weeks about DC books, and the big one that was either earlier today or late yesterday is the long-awaited return of the Justice League comic. We haven't had a Justice League comic in 2 years?
2022.
Yeah.
In 2 years, the return of Justice League comic coming up in the next 6 months or so. Justice League Unlimited, and it's about the best team you could possibly ask for a Justice League comic. It's Mark Waid writing and Dan Mora on art. It's really not, it doesn't get any better than that, especially in today's kind of creator climate for a DC and Marvel even. But because of that, I wanted to bring in an absolute classic. This is JLA Volume 4, written by Grant Morrison with art by Howard Porter and written by Mark Waid and art from Mark Padahio, I think that's how you say his name. But this has 3 separate stories in it. The first one is written by Mark Waid with art by Padahio. It's it's a story with the new gods in it, and there's an old gods threat that shows up, and that's really fun. Really fun read. It's a shorter part of this volume than the other 2 stories. Then the bulk of the story is World War III, which is Grant Morrison and Howard Porter. And the really iconic part from that is Prometheus is a character who wanted to be on the Justice League, couldn't, and they didn't let him. He can steal people's powers and their abilities. And at the end of there's a bunch of stuff that goes on, but the way Batman defeats him, and this kind of leads into the next story written by Mark Waid, is he uploads Stephen Hawking's consciousness to Prometheus and his like biology, and he renders him incapable after Prometheus has beaten all of the other Justice League members but can't beat Bruce. And the final story, again written by Mark Waid with art from Porter this time, is one of the most iconic stories in all of superhero comics. Yeah. It's one that people who don't read comics, they know this story and don't even realize it. It's the story of Batman having a plan to defeat every single one of the Justice League members. Mm-hmm. And that plan gets stolen by Ra's al Ghul, and he starts taking the members out. And at the end, they vote Batman out of the Justice League because you can't trust us, and now we can't trust you. You couldn't even tell us that you had these so we can make sure they didn't get out of hand. But Superman, and they understand. They're like, we get it. But look at what happened because you didn't tell us about it. And he's like, but if I told you about it, then it wouldn't have worked. So one of the most iconic Batman and Superman and Justice League in general stories. You can pick it's JLA Volume 4, but the nice thing about this run from Morrison and then Waid towards the back part is you can kind of jump in whenever. It's got Rock of Ages, which I've covered on the show once a while ago. If you never read anything Justice League, read this. It's as good as it gets, and I'm really excited to have Mark Waid back on Justice League.
Here.
The Tower of Babel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sames.
Yeah. I remember buying that from Ralph at Ralph's comic store as it was coming out, being enamored reading that series. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
really.
It's really transcended comic books, that story, because that's something that you ask like someone who doesn't really know that much about Batman, and they're like, oh, his thing is he can beat anybody, right? Like he's got a plan for everything. Yeah, this story is where that comes from.
When I buy collections, and if I come across collections and it has that run in it, I will take that Tower of Babel run out, because I will not, sell them individually. I'll take that Tower of Babel run out just to $15, and then someone comes around, oh, I'm looking for a good story. Here you go.
Boom.
As a set.
Nice.
You package that as a
this
set.
whole run, though, is like this whole JLA run is can't miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Morrison and Waid in the early 2000s, late 90s, can't miss.
Yeah.
Solid. Barn.
Well, I don't bring the new stuff. I bring the old stuff because I'm the old guy.
Well,
and this stuff is old.
Ooh.
This stuff is older than me.
Oh my goodness.
I can't show you the insides though, because this is adults only, as you can see. Adults only right there, it says. Okay. This is a 1971 adults only comic called Funny Book, and it was actually signed by the creator Larry Welts. Oh. I'm not going to show you the inside. I'll show you, and you can just give them give the people on the view. But it's the first appearance of a character named Cherry Pop-Tart. Yeah. She was a character that was created as a parody. Her and her other characters were created as a parody of Archie for adults only. So I'm going to pass this over to Paul, so make sure the camera's on him so you can see him blush. But Alan, actually, we did a trade for that, and that was a book I've been looking for a while. It's an adults-only book for Frank Welts, and it's got some nasty stuff in it, man, people. It does. But the first appearance of Cherry Pop-Tart, and those that are out there that collect comics, you know who Cherry Pop-Tart is.
This reads like this reads like it should be in like an issue of Penthouse or something.
Yeah. Here's another one. Here's another one. A little Robert Crumb action on here. So this is called Funny Aminals. And so the significance of this particular one, Funny Aminals, significance of this one, this is Robert Crumb. Robert Crumb, as you know, is the underground king of comics. And but the significance of this one is it actually has, and Marcus, you'll appreciate this, it has the very first preview of Mouse.
Oh, yeah.
Now, all of us other comic book fans have read Mouse at some point.
Right.
I would say Mouse is probably regarded as maybe the best comic book ever written.
By many.
Yeah.
So, I probably cried 5 times reading Mouse.
It's like an allegory for World War II.
It just tears you apart. But there's a little 3-page preview. This is Art Spiegelman putting it into this book, him and Robert Crumb were friends way back when. 1972 is when this one came out.
Oh, wow.
But this is the first time Mouse was published and put it into some kind of story form. And I mean, this book is phenomenal. The first one, the funny book, signed by Frank Welch, that's the first Cherry Pop-Tart. It's probably like a $250, $300 book. This one, Funny Aminals, being as rare as it is, and underground stuff, that's probably $250, $300
Foghorn
book too.
Leghorn? No, I'm just kidding.
And the last one, I brought this in before. To show off, but my friend Rob over at Red Hood, he submitted it off to me because CGC now authenticates signatures.
Oh.
And so this is one of the first ones that came back. This is Detective Comics 441. Wow. I bought this book, you probably remember, at Zia for $1. I didn't know if the signatures were real. Rob sent it off for me. CGC came back and says, yes, they're real. Signatures by Adam West and Burt Ward.
That's crazy.
Batman and Robin from Batman 66.
That's a score right there. Yeah.
It's real. It came back. It was a 2.5. I could care less what grade it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have two comic books that are graded. This is the second one. The first one was Spider-Man #1, Platinum Edition, signed by McFarlane and Stan Lee. And then there's this one. I'm just keeping this one for me. So
that is awesome.
That's very cool.
Nick and I, the last show, we were trying to come up with a value on it and asking other people. I mean, the fact that you can't get those signatures anymore, it's a nothing comic as far as, key issues and stuff, but we're thinking it's somewhere between $800 to $1,000
that's
a book like this. And it's the only one that I've found in the census where both of them have signed it.
Yeah.
So,
because Bert's still with us, but Adam is gone. So,
Zia for $1, and here we are.
Wow.
That's
very
incredible.
Cool.
Check these out. I want you to see these underground comics with Cherry Pop-Tart in it.
I want to see it too. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Marcus.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go through the books I brought real quick here.
Oh, Foghorn, your Leghorn.
If you were easy. All right.
Kalmate.
If you were a fan of Stray Dogs, that group is back with Feral. This is issue number 5. A little more
that Walking
like
Dead?
where it's an homage to Walking Dead or Night of Living Dead type of thing. There is basically a rabies outbreak that's affected the lives of these house cats. They've been separated from their humans, and they are in the woods basically. And I guess you'd say the version of like the CDC has been commissioned to basically just put down all the animals, put down all animals they come in contact with. And they meet some other animals in the forest. Some are good, some are not. And it's whereas Stray Dogs was like more like a psychological like thriller type of thing with a serial killer type involved with the dogs. This is involving the world of cats. If you're a fan of dogs, you probably didn't like Stray Dogs a whole lot for certain things, especially in issues 3 and 4. If you love cats, you're probably not going to like this comic a whole lot. Maybe you will. They do a lot for the animal rights and donating to shelters and rescue animals from the sales of a lot of these books. Trish Forstner and Tony Fleets, of course, Brad Simpson, Tony Rodriguez, they do a great job as far as the artwork goes. It's very Don Bluth cartoon-esque or Disney-esque with the backgrounds and stuff like that with the cartoon, with the artwork, but the animation looks very much like you're looking at a Disney cartoon. It's just a Disney cartoon where the cats are rabid and they becoming zombies. So just like any Disney cartoon, and
that classic Disney cartoon.
So it's been a fun read. Rob and I were going back a little bit back and forth about it last week. Not really sure. I think he's kind of like checked out on it. I want to give it like a little bit more time before I decide.
He said he wasn't digging it, right?
No, it's an ongoing series. Stray Dogs ended with 5 issues, so this is going to be an ongoing series for a while. It seems like they've got like the end of the first arc is going to be the next issue, and then
that's what he said. He wasn't liking Stray Dogs.
First trade will come out, and then I'll probably bring the trade in for you guys to check out. Now, this is something everybody's been on board with, I think, since day one. Kind of like, I don't want to say so much a sleeper hit, but since last year in the fall when Void Rivals came on the scene, we didn't know exactly what we were getting. We know Robert Kirkman, of course, from his Walking Dead background, and he's a phenomenal writer. And what he's been able to do with this Energon universe and Void Rivals in particular, sort of sneaking in the Transformers universe into what we've been getting from Void Rivals as a whole has been great. We're going to be getting a new G.I. Joe series in November, I think. Williamson's doing everything that they've been doing that surrounds this Energon universe has been a lot of fun. From the limited series that they're doing under the G.I. Joe sort of umbrella. This series, it can kind of stand on its own, but the fact that it has some who's the character that they first meet is Jetfire.
Yep.
Right, with Void Rivals.
And he just like bounces like 2 seconds into his appearance. Where you're like, was that Jetfire?
And it's a really fun story. The Lorenzo De Felici artwork is incredible. Kirkman has done a great job with the storytelling, and it's been a fun series, man. I mean, if you're not sure about Transformers, I think there might be something wrong with you. But if you're not sure, you can check out Void Rivals, and then you're like, I don't really care about Transformers. You can start with Void Rivals, and then you can get in there.
Fun fact.
Then we have meth for you.
Yeah, that's what we have. So last year, 7 of the 10 highest selling comics last year, like individual issues, were Batman comics. 2 more of them were Spider-Man comics, and the other one was Void Rivals #1.
Yeah.
That's how good that book was. It found its way into the top 10 with Batman and Spider-Man books.
And it was one of the only books where retailers would order more as the series would go on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because usually you order, however many copies of #1, then 2 comes out, and then you're cutting it like 60%, then you're cutting 40% with 3, and then on down. Where that's one where it was, however many orders you did, you're bumping it up. Every month, retailers were bumping up their orders for Void Rivals because people are just coming in. I need this. I need this. I need this. So.
And they're not sure what they're committing to at first. The retailers, so you're getting the second, third, and fourth print of these comics because you're not really sure how it's going to be consumed. And it kind of blew up after the fact that they had Jetfire attached to it. You're like, okay, so we're getting Transformers again,
right? Which is one of the most beloved characters that came from the Transformers cartoon. Is that Springer on the cover?
Yeah. So it's been, dude. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah. Top 7 are Batman comics. The next 2 are Amazing Spider-Man, and then 10 is Void Rivals. Like, that's crazy. How
for an independent publisher
to crack, and like it doesn't have Transformers on the name, to crack into that kind of like Batman and Spider-Man always sell well. They're always going to be at the top. So again, says a lot about that.
And then also too, you're getting writers like Dan Waters, Robert Kirkman, Joshua Williamson, attaching themselves to they're lending their storytelling, and then you're gonna have if you grew up as like Barney and I are within a couple of years age of each other. I mean, we grew up watching Transformers and G.I. Joe and all that stuff, the G.I. Joe cartoons. Marcus, it's like all that stuff, and the fact that it's being fleshed out in this, it's been great, and I'm excited for that. Williamson's doing the G.I. Joe series, I think too.
I was more GoBots, but okay.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, if I were to like have to rebuild my whole pool, I wouldn't. But I would make sure that I had Void Rivals, the G.I. Joe, the all the little miniseries that are related to that. So all the the Destro, the Scarlet, all that's in that Energon universe. You could literally just subscribe to all the Energon universe and be happy just with that. In terms of like fun factor, value, they're not $5, $6, $7, $8 books, each issue.
And something different.
And it's something different, yes.
Especially Void Rivals.
Exactly. So I think it checks all the boxes in terms of being fresh, being original, being nostalgic, being fun, all of that. Yeah. So I definitely would recommend that if someone who wants to just jump in and doesn't really maybe care for like capes or any type of superhero.
If you had to guess, okay, because I don't know if you know the specific number. If you had to guess, how many books do you have on your pull?
Shoot, I have that. Ralph just gave me a list. Shoot, I don't know, maybe around 55 plus.
55.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
A lot of them are minis, so it's hard to keep an accurate count because as soon as one ends,
stuff drops off.
Yeah,
doing the event thing, and
right? It's all attrition.
I think I have 20.
I think I have 10.
Yeah.
A lot of it is indie
that
stuff.
Surprises me.
Yeah, a lot of it is indie stuff, and it's one of those things where because it's independent, and those are smaller publishers, you never know if you're going to get the second or third issue. So you add it to your pool just to make sure that you at least get that issue. Otherwise, the comic book store may or may not order it because
how short of a leash do you have then with it? Like when you're getting a book, you get the first number 1, you're like, oh, I gotta check this out, like creative team, and then you're like second, third issue, you're like, I'm out. Like how long do you give?
I call it my Netflix formula. So I give usually like when I used to watch Netflix a lot, I'll give a new series like 3 to 4 episodes. And then and then I'll get out if it's not good.
Okay.
So with comics, that's actually shortened now just because I have so many books and I don't have that time anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's maybe 2 to 3. Like if it doesn't grab me almost right away, or if I can't appreciate what's being, like I can tell when I've read enough now that I can tell if there's a slow burn, I can appreciate it more and I might just be a little more patient with it. But if it's not feeling that way, like I'm feeling kind of lost, then I'm like, I'll give it one. I'll maybe get it at the second issue. And if nothing is grabbing or formulating for me, then I'm out. Yeah.
I wish I could have 10 books a month.
Right.
You could.
I could. I just won't.
Yeah. There's too much good stuff out there.
When Ralph gives you the list, does he say, everything's checked off and you uncheck what you don't want?
Well, a lot of my stuff is just attrition because, like I said, I do a lot of the minis. So a lot of those minis, just when they're done, and I just don't add anymore.
I've been a pull box customer with Ralph since 1995.
Yeah,
and that same pull list that he gives you is the same one he's given since 1995, where he retypes all the stuff that's coming,
right?
The new books that are coming from the different publishers, and it's the same formula that he's used. For 30 years.
Hey, if it ain't broke.
So.
Brendan said he trimmed his to about 75 so he could make room for the absolute DC stuff in October.
Yeah.
I was just talking to him about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. 75.
He's like, dude, I'm trying to cut back. And I said, much of that stuff is going to take the place of the stuff I'm cutting.
Mine will probably be up around 30
it's gonna
in October
wash
because
out
of that stuff.
Whatever I'm going to be removing from
right.
the whole.
I'll probably because I have the list. I'll probably give it a more accurate count and share it with you all next week because I need to. Yeah, I'm interested myself.
I'm doing the math real quick. 75 books at roughly $5. That's like almost $500 a month.
Yes.
It's like a bill.
Well, I mean, if he gets a pull box, you don't know what kind of discount he gets. He might get some discount.
Yeah.
Still.
But still.
In theory, yeah.
Sure.
Bags and boards.
I'm going to bring you a couple trades when I see you.
Awesome.
I'll bring you Transformers and
Appreciate that.
Void Rivals. Well, I get my Transformers back from Shane, but I'll bring you
You're not
Void
getting those
Rivals.
back.
Shane, bring that to the movie tonight. When we go to the movie, bring Transformers with you, and then I'll get you the Void Rivals.
Oh, is he going? Is he going?
Yeah, he's going.
Oh, okay.
He's
be there.
in trouble right now.
I'll bring you a shirt with your name on it.
Let's go. I would rather prefer a drawing of myself. I think that would top everything.
Oh yeah, Brendan asked.
Barney.
I think Brendan asked earlier
if I was doing
you were in
sketches of the show.
yeah.
Probably not. I'm gonna be too busy. With, the
James
sales,
still calls me Marcosi.
and Paul,
Right.
Paul and Shane.
I have that that's like the first thing you see when you walk in my room.
I had someone the other day saying, "So what does Quan look like?" I'm like, "Did you see the picture?"
It's not that much different.
I did a sketch.
Yeah.
Excited for the movie tonight. We're going with about 20 people. We're gonna go watch Deadpool Wolverine tonight. I'm excited for it for sure.
I'm glad that it's not like 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
I'm excited
2 hours
because my boys are coming. So I got
Oh, nice.
Julian 19, John 13, and John he has soccer practice. He's getting out. He's got like 45 minutes of soccer practice still. So when he gets out, but to have both of my boys there to watch Deadpool because the first one come out. My oldest 19 now. The first Deadpool came out in 2015.
That sounds right.
So I knew it was rated R, and I had Julian, my oldest son, one of his good friends, Eric. I talked to his mom into letting Eric come along. I knew it was rated R, but I didn't know
right.
how bad. And so I took these two boys. They're 10 years old. We go to watch Deadpool. It was hilarious. We're laughing the whole time. Then the strip bar scene came. And I did not know that was in the movie.
Yeah.
I look at my son just covers his eyes. 10 years old, covering his eyes. My nephew, we'll call him Eric. He sees that scene, and these girls are just all around. And he just starts leaning in. Also, he's like on the front of his seat. And he's just getting closer and closer.
Good boy.
And I'm looking. I'm like, my kid's hands, eyes are covered. Eric's leaning into it. I'm like, oh, I gotta explain this to his mom what we just saw. And stuff, of course. And it's when we got home that night, and I tell his mom, I was like, hey, look, this is just so you know, this is what happened. And on the drive back, Eric's saying, I've never seen that before. Can we go watch it again? I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have to ask your mom about it. I told her, confess, I did not know that scene was in there. She's like, what did Eric do? I'm like, oh, he leaned forward and got really into it. She's like, yeah, I saw that come. I should have known. So,
yeah,
that's great.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
not for kids watching movies they shouldn't watch. I'm saying, I'm looking forward to watching this tonight. It's gonna be great. Yeah,
all right.
It'll be fun. I think it's gonna be pretty violent too.
Yeah, it's probably
bonus.
Very bloody.
Yeah. Barney, thank you. Tim, thanks for the drugs. Thanks for being here.
He didn't get a show. You got to show him. Show the people.
Oh yeah.
Did he? Did he even pick a comic?
He did.
He brought the
Copper
Infinity
Drop.
Dynamo.
Oh yeah, pick which one of ours.
Oh yeah, you got to
would-
pick
you would
which
count.
I gotta pick.
Which one? Are you going to go to
The
the
one
store?
that intrigues me is it The House by the Sea?
Oh yeah,
That was
The
the
Nice
title.
House by the Sea.
the Nice
Yeah.
House by the Sea. Yes.
That intrigues me, and then the classic JLA stuff.
Mhm.
is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a gem, Barney! Like
The adult comics?
finding
Oh.
not those
That
ones,
is a
but
gem.
the
That
Batman.
is.
The mouse
Robin
thing is very cool.
sign.
Yeah, that's
That's pretty unique and special.
Brendan says in the chat, kids will definitely learn some new words in this movie.
Mm.
True.
Oh,
It's great.
You know what my favorite ad I think for the whole like promotional campaign? It's the one in the movie theaters where they Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in character come on and are like, "Oh, silence your cell phones." It's like their little silence your cell phone thing. And he walks away and he says a certain curse word that in Australia and in Britain is like super common. People say it all the time. In America, people have like a big problem. And he walks away and it bleeps out, but you kind of know what he says. And Deb goes, "Ooh, no. They do not like that word here in America." And that's probably my favorite part of the marketing.
Nice.
I'm like, that's probably true. That's funny.
Yeah.
marketing genius.
I'm excited for it. And we'll be talking about it next week. We'll be giving our reviews, all the cameos and speculation on what it could be meaning for them introducing the mutants into the MCU.
Yeah.
And we're going to be getting a lot of announcements this weekend for San Diego Comic-Con. So hopefully...
Don't
we'll be
forget, they
following up on
are
that.
technically already in the MCU. Kelsey
Technically.
Grammer was at the end of the Marvels. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
But Marcus, what do you got for the people?
Hey everyone, read comics. Check out the comic crawl if you're in the Las Vegas area. Shout out to Celestial Comics. I didn't know they were closing their doors. They were a fine comic shop, so they certainly will be missed. ShimpSons comic pop up, all that good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff to read. I also wanted to say Big Burn was the latest distillery outing. That was really good, as well as the NYX issue that just came out, which kind of is centered around Miss Marvel. That was also a fun read as well. So I wanted to shout out to that. So there was just a ton of really good books out this week. So it's too much almost to cover.
Tim, what do you got?
I just have
for
some
us?
advice for the people. If you're having trouble sleeping, put on an episode of Acolyte.
Yay!
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
that's true. Especially that first episode, boy. Woo! I was out like a light.
Ambien.
Yeah.
Marcus's nap show.
Yeah.
Barney, what do you got for the people?
Whatever
Thanks for
gets you
coming
up.
back and hanging out with us.
I'm just happy to be here to see
Yeah.
Paul again, to see Quan again. To Marcus, my brother over there.
yeah.
Frankie.
Good to see you.
Had breakfast last week with you.
Hmm?
That was
Thanks for the invite.
fantastical. Or fantastical.
Fantastical. What happened?
Yeah, it was fun.
You guys go to the Hash House? Where'd you guys go?
Where did we go? Neighbors.
Neighbors, yeah.
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 Oh,
and then
okay.
I went off to like 12 different stores delivering pop-up show flyers everywhere. So hey, I'm happy to see everybody this Saturday. So this Saturday is the pop-up show. Starting tomorrow, Friday is the comic crawl. Get your checklist, get your stamps. There's all kinds of fun stuff that's going on. Gorilla Todd has a Vampirella model that did a photo shoot or a cover recently, and he's going to have her at his Gorilla Todd's Clubhouse this weekend. All kinds of sales throughout all of it. Go support Sharon over at Celestial, 50% off everything in the store. Even if you need fixtures, there's all kinds of good stuff in there. So go see them. And no matter what, when you go to these comic book stores, be nice, be loving. and just go for the fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Well said.
Paul, how can they go for the fun with us on the interwebs?
They can go for the fun with us on the interwebs at Into the West Comics on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Pods, and at Into_Comics on Twitter. We've been posting at least 3 clips a week, one House of Dragons videos pretty much every week. Didn't really get to get into that today, but we will next week. Yeah, follow us. We really appreciate all the House of the Dragons videos have been doing around like 600-700 views each episode, which is really awesome, which is like higher than our subscriber count. So that's like really cool to see that happening consistently. So yeah, keep checking those out, man. Thanks, guys.
Real quick, on Saturday, Enterprise Library, ShimpSons pop-up show from 11 to 4. Make your way over there. Stop by for a little bit. Show a little love.
Into the West will be there.
Give Barney a hug. Some of us will be hanging out over there, so you can come and give us a hug if you like. Hug Marcus.
Frank's the only one that accepts hugs.
I like hugs. I'm a hugger too.
There you go.
I'm too skinny.
Real quick, Alternate Reality Comics, Blackbird Comics, Cemetery Pulp, Celestial Comics, Cosmic Comics, Phantomverse, Fire Force, Gorilla Todd, Heroes for Sale, Hypno Comics, Nowhere Comics, over there in Cali, fill your tank. Maximum Comics Northwest, My Four Sons, the Eastern location, One of Us Comics, Rogue Toys on Rainbow, Sci-Fi Center, Williams at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, and the USS Decatur Steam Trek Fan Club. They'll all be participating. Go over there, get your stuff stamped. Guys, have a great night.
Yeah.
It's time for a movie.
Do you know who Tanya thinks? Don't look at the comments. Don't look at the comments. Do you know who Tanya thinks Lady Deadpool's going to be?
I'm going to look in a second. It's popcorn time in America.
She said Lizzo.
It could be Lizzo. Yep. It might be Lizzo.
Great, yeah.
Is she coming tonight? She should come.
I asked
Lizzo?
her. I don't know if she...
No.
Lizzo's coming.
No, Tanya.
Yeah,
no,
Lizzo's coming. I don't know if Tanya
I don't know
is.
how we managed to get Tanya out of the house last
Guys,
week.
have a great night. That's right. She said it's late. She don't know if she want to go to the house. Have a good night. Love you guys.
Tanya.
Have a good night. Go watch a movie. See you.
Good evening.